another update that we have says, as per reports, the US has launched the third round of strikes on Iran, and multiple reports, in fact, point to the latest wave of attacks that are following earlier US military operations in response to escalating tension in the Hormuz Strait. Details on the targets are still emerging, but the situation is rapidly intensifying. All right, General Kulkarni, I want to come back to you. Trump has earlier as well said how blockade of the Hormuz Strait has been more effective than any other operation that the US or Israel may have done. Where do you see that? You're talking about, as is everybody else, how important it is for the strait to be opened, and we're hoping for good sense to prevail, but how likely is it?
Very difficult, because again, America also realizes that's the weapon that they are able to, curb Iran from doing what it desires to do. So you find the inner Strait of Hormuz, obviously the Strait of Hormuz firstly controlled by Iran, and much that they would want to go along with Oman, and Oman, though of course gravitated more towards the United States, may able to, but the strait is such, the 12 nautical miles, which are the territorial waters of both, and the strait is much narrower than that. And therefore, each of them wanting to say that they're not international waters. Yes, it is overlapping, so obviously not international waters. But yes, the strait is international, because for years it's been open, as it has been brought out, till the 28th of February. Everybody used the Strait of Hormuz. So if you try and collect toll from there, then the other states also, you have the Strait of Malacca, from where so much of ships. So 20% of the shipping, if it is to the Strait of Hormuz, is something which is affecting. And now with that, the Red Sea also, with the Bab al-Mandeb also, from where about 15% of the other energy and the other goods are going through. And if that also gets blocked, it's going to be very, very difficult, because it's over a period of time. You find the Russia-Ukraine war has led to food crisis, because the Ukraine granary, the entire bowl which produced food, has led to the African continent having problems, Europe having problems. So you find their food prices, fertilizer, because all of it is dependent on the energy which flows from over here. 80% of the oil that flows from the Strait of Hormuz is for Asia. And Asia is China, India, Japan, Korea, and all the other countries. So there is so much happening. I think we are the ones who are really badly affected. And India is the third largest consumer of oil in the world, with almost 5 to 6 million barrels per day after China. And therefore, Chinese have still gone in for exploring. We also have a huge basket, but it's all expensive. It's costing the exchequer, and all of it is being now seen. The way inflation is going up, unemployment going up, everything is being diverted to ensuring that we are only buying crude. Crude is available, but buying crude, whether it is Venezuela crude or the other crude, and all of it with higher sulfur content, lower sulfur content, cost, everything matters. And I think our economy is affected. We were heading to be the third largest economy in the world. We've already slided to the fifth largest economy in the world. That's all indicated. It's all because of the Strait of Hormuz. And therefore, it's very important. America may not be affected very badly, but countries like India and all other developing countries are being very, very badly affected. Sure. I think we are hoping, and we sincerely hope, that the crisis gets resolved in the next 96 hours. Otherwise, I think even if it gets resolved after 96 hours, it might still take a year to really stabilize. So it's not easy. We are heading for real difficult times in future. Yeah.
Right. Requested to stay on for one final question, Lieutenant General. We have some updates and I'll come to you after that. Now, viewers, the IRGC has claimed that a US strike on Sirik in southern Iran has also damaged a communications tower and destroyed 2 water storage tanks. This, of course, coming shortly after unconfirmed reports of an American drone being downed over Jam City, and amid a strongly worded warning from Iranian Foreign Minister Araghchi, who said Iran's armed forces will respond to any attack or threat. So that is the current status quo, Lieutenant General. Speaking about India, how resilient is India at this point in time? Oil prices have continuously been raised, ever since elections concluded. We're finally feeling the pinch of the war.
Resilient, yes, we have reserves, but everything has a limit. the reserves also need to be replenished. And therefore, replenishment of these reserves, the oil that should come from greater distances to us, you're going to pay for more for it. The Russian oil that was coming to us, also now we are paying much more. And it's all demand and supply. And there is a demand in India, and huge demand, 5 to 6 million barrels per day. That's something huge. And almost 80 to 90% is being imported. And therefore, everything will be affected. Gas, Qatar, almost 60 to 70% of the gas that comes from Qatar is unable to supply because of the Strait of Hormuz. So there is another problem over there. You have millions of people overseas working over there. You have yet another problem over there because if they start coming back to India, because there would be the entire GCC countries are into real trouble. You find the Kuwait airport being hit, Bahrain being hit, Qatar being hit, you have the UAE being hit, everyone's being hit very badly. Their economies are virtually failing. So at this point of time, India is passing through real crisis. It's very, very important for all of us in the country not to spread rumors, to see to it that whatever is available to us is used, properly. Otherwise, wastage of it, everything counts, because gas, your prices going up matters, your fuel prices going up matters. You find other logistics, because gas prices go up, transportation goes up, you find prices again zooming up. So if there's inflation, there's unemployment, so much of it is happening around. I think the government is fighting with it, ensuring it, but how long? There's a limit to everything. And it's very important that all of us understand that the crises are severe and that we need to cope up with it, and all of us need to be a part of it to ensure that we do not aggravate it and ensure that we are a part and cut down on our expenses in terms of fuel is concerned and other things. The Prime Minister has been saying again and again, the government has been wanting to say it again and again, cut down on the expenses, see to it that the crisis, hopefully, they should pass over, but then it's been too long. 100 days are over. And 100 days, imagine what we are going through. All the reserves invariably are for 90 days and things of those kinds. They will be replenished. They are being replenished. But the gas prices are going up, fuel prices are going up, fertilizer prices are going up. Everything else, because from the crude and other things, there are other products which come out. Pharmaceuticals, plastics, rubber, so much of this thing is all byproducts of it. We are really being affected, and we must take this as a serious and hope, and sincerely hope, whatever role we can play to ensure that the Strait of Hormuz at least is kept open, and that 20% of the world shipping that is being badly affected is normalized. Otherwise, I'm repeating again and again, we are heading for trouble, and therefore we should ensure we all participate in to see to it that we curb our expenses and not aggravate it.
Right. All right, Lieutenant General, on that note, we'll round up this discussion. Thank you very much for joining us and helping us.